Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. I'm so excited for this one because we're talking about a stone that I think we all find pretty mesmerizing, at least visually. We're going to be exploring turquoise.
Yeah, turquoise. I mean, it's one of those materials that just has this really rich history and it's really beautiful, so it makes sense to take a deep dive into it.
It's one of those things you see, you're like, wow, it's pretty.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's got to be more to it than meets the eye. And I think when we talk about gemstones and things that come from the earth, they often have a deeper significance. So let's start with the basics. Like, what is turquoise, really? How does it even get to be those gorgeous blues and greens that we associate with it?
Well, it's interesting, the formation of turquoise is this really kind of slow and beautiful process. You've got water seeping through rock formations over centuries, sometimes even longer,
Yeah.
picking up minerals like copper and aluminum along the way.
Oh, so that's where the color comes from.
Yeah, it's the copper that gives us those amazing blues and greens. And then eventually, all this gets deposited into like cracks and crevices. And over even more time, boom, you've got these veins of turquoise.
Wow, so it's like nature's slow drip art project. And
Hmm.
speaking of those veins, you know how some turquoise is like way more valuable than others, and I've heard it has to do with something called the matrix, but like, what is that exactly?
Yeah, so think of the matrix, kind of like those spider web patterns you sometimes see running through the turquoise. Those are basically like other minerals, usually like brown or black, that are kind of embedded in the stone.
Suppose it's like inclusions, kind of?
Exactly, yeah. And generally, the less matrix there is, the more intense and valuable the color is because you get more of that pure turquoise shining through.
That makes sense. So basically, it's all about that, like pure, vibrant turquoise. But here's something I find really cool as I was reading that, experts can actually pinpoint where a piece of turquoise came from just by analyzing its composition. Like it has its own sort of like geological fingerprint or something.
It's really incredible, right? You can have turquoise from the Southwest and then turquoise from, say, Iran, and they're going to look different because of those trace minerals and the way that they formed.
That just blows my mind. It's like this tiny stone holds so much information about the Earth. And speaking of turquoise and its connection to the Earth, it's been hugely important to Native American cultures, especially in the Southwest, for like a really long time, right?
Yeah, for at least a couple of thousand years, archaeologists have found turquoise artifacts. So we know they've been using it for a really, really long time. And you're right, it's not just like a decorative thing for them. It has a deep spiritual and cultural significance.
Yeah. Like I know it's considered a sacred stone and that it symbolizes like the elements of life. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's seen as embodying like the interconnectedness of everything, reflecting the sky, the water, the earth, like all of that is sort of encapsulated in turquoise for a lot of these tribes. It's a really powerful symbol of harmony and balance.
That makes so much sense, especially with like those colors,
Mhm.
the blues, the greens, even the browns of the matrix. It really does echo like the natural world around us. And speaking of those powerful connections, I feel like when we talk about turquoise, we can't not talk about the Navajo tribe because they have such a rich tradition with it.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that's really interesting about the Navajo and their connection to turquoise is this goddess Esanalehi.
Oh, yeah.
She's a really important figure in their mythology, and she's known as like a changing woman, which is so fascinating because she can actually appear as a turquoise woman.
Whoa, really? I'd always heard that turquoise itself can change color too, but I wasn't sure if that was like a real thing or just a myth.
Oh, it's absolutely real. Exposure to light, even just like the wearer's skin acidity and the oils on their skin, the environment even, it can all subtly affect the shades of turquoise over time.
Wow. It really is like a living stone then, in a way, like it's
Yeah.
responding to the world around it. It's almost as if it carries a little bit of that changing energy with it, like the goddess.
Right. And that connection to change and transformation, you see it reflected in other Navajo stories about turquoise too. Like there's this one myth that I love that describes how turquoise was formed from the tears of joy and relief after a long drought.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like the tears fell onto the earth and then hardened into these beautiful blue-green stones, highlighting not just the preciousness of water, but also the emotional resonance that turquoise carries.
I'd never heard that story before. It's
No.
beautiful and kind of sad, but also hopeful. It really adds another layer to like why it's so valued.
Right. It reminds us that even something that we might consider just an object, like a stone or a piece of jewelry, can hold within it centuries of stories and beliefs, cultural significance.
It really makes you think about turquoise in a whole new light. It's not just a pretty stone, it's like a piece of history, a story in itself. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive on turquoise, I want you to take a moment and actually picture holding a piece of turquoise in your hand. But instead of just seeing the stone, I want you to see the millions of years it took to form, the hands that have shaped it, the stories that it whispers, and that connection between nature, culture, and art that it represents.